Oh, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be fitting a Mancraft conversion kit, something just fell out there, for the ICS Tomahawk. Now this is very much a imitation, copy, inspiration, however you want to say it. It's very similar to the SRS in the way that it's bullpup and the way that it's not an SRS copy, let's just get that out of the way, but it is very heavily inspired by the SRS. And this is another gun of Mustangs. He was having some trouble with this, and we managed to clear a big blockage out the barrel, so we're going to have to see, investigate what's going on there, and then relay that to him, and he's going to source some parts for the barrel and the hop. That is all now clear. This gun is incredibly quiet. I don't know how quiet that comes across on camera, but it's practically almost inaudible. But he's got this conversion kit that Mancraft sent him. So in today's video, we're going to do that. I'm also probably going to pop the barrel out so we can take a quick look and see what's going on there. So it's a 4mm Allen key. Should be able to shorten this rifle then and get it in frame. What I do like is you can lock and unlock the barrel with your fingers. So it's literally just to turn it and it unlocks, and then slide the barrel assembly out, and we're just left with the receiver. And it's got a weird hop adjust on this, and he was saying that he was having some trouble with it and getting it to sit properly, and it just didn't seem to want to work. So we'll take a look at that perhaps in a separate video. But this one is how to install the Mancraft kit. Now I'm not sure if this is out yet for the Tomahawk. I'm not sure if this has been released. He did say it was a very new product. So we pop that pin out, we shove that up, and it will drop it out there. These have a very weird magazine system on them. So the magazine is found on the side. And the other issue he said he had is he's like, if you accidentally knock that latch, which is very easy, takes hardly any effort to knock it, the magazine pops out of place and it won't feed. So this is just incredibly weak. They needed to fit a much stronger spring there. So I'll see if I've got anything to see what we can do. Made in Taiwan by ICS Airsoft. And this is a top feeding magazine system. And these magazines, as like short profile as they are, and it's a unique design, it just wasn't executed probably the best way. So we'll find a solution for that. But we've popped the rear plate off, and then we pop the blanking plate off for the cylinder. And with this, it's like a push and unlock system. However, there is a grub screw that holds it in place, which is a 1.5mm Allen key. So it's not really needed, but it's nice that they've included it anyway, just if you want a peace of mind that nothing's going to move. So literally you just push and turn, and it unlocks. And to be honest, when it's locked into place, it ain't going anywhere. I suppose one thing that a grub screw will do is it'll remove any rattle. And he's done a couple of bits and pieces here. He's done the old Coke can mod to remove the spring twang. Don't want this tape is around here, but there's some 3D printed spacers there as well, to space the spring out. Now we're not going to need any of this, so we'll chuck all that off. We'll get rid of this electrical tape, which is also using as a spacer. And I think we actually need to get this apart. But if we pull the cylinder set out, the cylinder on this rifle is huge. As you can see, this can freely spin. So it's got a lot of volume there. And I think he's done some work on this. It's a bit scratched up there, but you know, it's not super critical. Let's see here. We have a latch there, which I presume is fitting into something as a guide. Stop it from spinning. Yeah, so that's a guide that sits inside the receiver and just keeps that all in the same place, and then this bit rotates. So that's that part removed. Let's see what we've got in this box of goodies that Mancraft have sent in. I think we've got some spare O-rings there. None of the packaging tells you what it is. So you've got a HPA fitting, which is nice because we'll need that. And I have just had a quick look at this. It kind of speaks for itself in terms of how the system works. Everything's sort of fitted in place. This is how it was fitted in the box. So see, that comes off the front there. Then we have that tube. That spring's going to have to go somewhere. I imagine it goes in the back. Yeah, I imagine it goes on there. So I think you'd install that on that. That would go back in. Yeah, that makes sense. That can go back on there. These parts are really nicely machined, to be honest. So, like I say, I think this speaks pretty much for itself. What we do need is a tiny bit of lube. I think Mancraft said very minimal amount. So just enough to wet the O-rings. Let's pull that off. Let's pull that off. Put a tiny bit round that O-ring. Put a tiny bit around these O-rings. And then we'll fit that on. Put a tiny bit. Still using. And lots of people, I do get a lot of questions about greases. You know, what lubrication do you recommend? What lubricant? And honestly, I know it's a shameless plug, but use the stuff that I sell. It's one lube can be used on absolutely everything. So I presume all this stuff just pushes into the cylinder. I imagine it'll be a tight fit, like so. Right, I was just checking through my messages, and because this is apparently a prototype kit, I don't think it's for sale yet, so there's no manuals or anything like that. I was just double checking because we got a bit of literature via email from Mancraft, and the reason I think they say not to put like a lot of grease on these O-rings is because that sleeve and everything is meant to be a buffer and like a push fit into this cylinder and sit in place. Now the literature they sent over does show this piece sitting flush, but there's no way that'll sit flush in here. I've just double checked it, made sure the cylinder, that forward silver section was fine. I flipped it round so that the edge that's got the sort of the chamfer on it needs to be towards the kit. So just switch that around as well. And now we have a kit pretty much ready to go in. So what we can do is, with those bits and pieces installed, is we can slide this in. So we line this up and send up, so that will pop in. So once that's in, we can slide the kit in. It'll stop on the sear. We push the sear to let it go. And then we have the macro line, or the micro line, or whatever you want to call it. So we've got to take this thing apart because the line runs through it. It is a 4mm Allen key. So well, it's not too tight actually, so we can take it apart. And this will obviously be the section where that spring guide sits into. So we take this bolt off. Should be able to then take the spring guide off, I believe. Let's put that a couple of threads in and give it a love tap. Like that. You can wind that back out. Pop that to one side, pop that to one side. Bit of junk in this section, so let's get that out. Just a bit dirty. Give that a wipe. So we haven't really had to modify anything apart from, you know, taking the spring guide off, which isn't a modification, it's just taking it off. And then we run this through. So run that through the line. That will then sit into that, which sits in perfectly. And then we'll push this in. Push it in. We turn it to lock it. So that's locked in place now. And then all I'll do is I'll nip that screw up so it doesn't move. We'll test it. Really short throw. There we have it. So I believe this doesn't need any modification either. We can just run it through. There's a perfectly aligned hole at the bottom there. Through that section. That'll go on the back. Oh, in fact, before we do that, we need to pop this piece on. Slide that into place. Pop this on. That gets knocked down. Pin goes in. And there we have it. The Mancraft kit installed. So the throw on this bolt now is like, what? An inch and a bit, an inch and a quarter maybe, 30 millimeters ish. We're obviously going to want to test it. So in the kit we had, those are obviously all the spare O-rings in case you need spares. We do have a HPA fitting, which is nice of them to supply. Whoop. I'm not going to cut this line down because I'll let Jim Bob do that. What I will do is square off the end because it's cut at a slant. So blade, we'll chop that flush so it's nice and straight, or straighter than it was. That can then push into the fitting. Is it a US fitting or a EU fitting? Let's find out. We have a line here, which is the one off my Wolverine. So US fitting, that's good. Perfect. We wouldn't even have to use this. You could literally run that microline through your gear if you wanted to. We can shove on the Cat 5 regulator. I believe with the Mancraft kits you can use CO2 as well. So let's plug this in. In fact, why am I using that line? It's just going to get in the way. We'll plug this kit in. Zero leaks, which is good. That's positive. You know, the kit can just go straight in. We'll cock it back. Cocks back. Goes forward. It's got some kick. But is it as... I mean, this is running at 100 psi. So he will have to set it for his velocity requirements, whatever site he's at. Let's put the barrel section back in just so we can hear it. Lock the barrel into place like that. 4mm Allen key. This is a very big rifle, especially with a suppressor on there. Let's give it a go. Is it quieter than what it was stock? I'm going to say no, but only because that's putting out a lot more pressure than that spring was. I don't know what power that was putting out, but you can feel it in the rifle. I'll look for a spring that we can putting this thing instead of what's in there because it's not very strong at all. Let's put the magazine back in. So just going to shoulder it here and oh, it's getting quieter, it sounds like. That is very quiet. I think once this is set up with a round in it, it's going to be as quiet, if not quieter, than the string setup. So at the point of recording, as far as I'm aware, this is a prototype kit for the ICS Tomahawk. So I don't know if that's changed now as I'm filming it, but this is how to install the ICS, the Mancraft kit into the ICS Tomahawk. It's very, very easy. Minimal tools, minimal skill required, very fast to fit, and hopefully James can get some more use out of this rifle. We're going to take a look at the hop and barrel next to see what's going on with that. Thanks for tuning in. This is how to fit the Mancraft kit into your ICS Tomahawk when it's released. Not sure about that. Stay tuned for more videos. From me and Bench, I'll see you in the next one.